Would the keeper of the flame please bring forward the Christ candle? Namaste.
Good morning, beloved of God. Right where you are at this moment, the light of Spirit shines through you. Infinitely loved by God, you are the light of the world. I'm Sandy, and I welcome you to Unity Spiritual Center of Waco this morning. Now would be a good time to double check our cell phones, make sure they're off, and stand as you are able and join in our congregational singing.
Good morning. We've got yet another new recording for our first congregational song. So we'll see the tempo on this one was a little bit difficult to navigate because you want it to go fast enough to be peppy, but not so fast that you can't sing the words. This one's a tricky one. So we'll see how it sounds. We'll get a vote on whether or not we need to speed it up or slow it down when we're done. Whenever you're ready.
God in you, God in me is the love that sets us free. God in you, God in me is the light we all can be. It's the essence of us all, the whole of humankind. It's the source of all my good, the universal mind. And God in you, God in me is the truth of who we are. God in you, God in me is more powerful by far than anything we can think or dream. It's the best that we can be. And so it is, God in you, God in me. God in you, God in me is the love that sets us free. God in you, God in me is the light we all can see. It's the essence of us all, the whole of humankind. It's the source of all my good, the universal mind. And God in you, God in me is the truth of who we are. God in you, God in me is more powerful by far than anything we can think or dream. It's the best that we can be. And so it is, God in you, God in me. And so it is, God in you, God in me.
How do we do the tempo? Oh.
Thanks, Lucinda. Now, let us say together our statement of truth, which is on the screen. There is only one presence and one power in the universe and in my life, God the good, omnipotent. We are a beacon of love and light for those who need this spiritual home right now. And let us say together our vision, mission, and core value for today. Our vision: to awaken an awareness of spirit in our lives through modern application of ancient wisdom. And our mission: raise consciousness, transform lives, heal the planet, one person at a time, beginning with me. And our core value for today, is stewardship. We commit to the practice of giving and receiving, to living prosperity principles, and to being good stewards of the abundance God gives our families, our church, and our world. And our daily word, Sunday, March 3rd, 2024, is grace. From the moment I greet the day to the moment I rest at night, I am enfolded in the grace of God. I find grace in the rhythm and balance of the natural world. It is in the beauty of a sunrise, a sweet, gentle rain. I find grace in the sweet souls with whom I share this beautiful planet, the faces of my dear ones and others I meet throughout the day. Grace is the presence of God made manifest. As it does for the world around me, grace blesses my life as well. It is the unexpected kindness, the serendipity, the forgiven error. It is the assurance I carry in the deepest recesses of my soul that I am loved, treasured, and secure in the heart of God. And from 1 Timothy 1:14, and the grace of our Lord overflowed for me with the faith and love that are in Christ Jesus. And our affirmation for today, I'll say, and then we will say it together. The grace of God surrounds and enfolds me. The grace of God surrounds and enfolds me.
This is the time in our service when we have an opportunity to greet one another, to say hi, shake hands, give a hug, fist bump, whatever it is that you'd like to do. And we really want to welcome you who are joining us online and know that you are part of this congregation, this church family, and know that your presence is felt. So let's do that now.
While everybody is moving down to their seats, I'm going to move over to my standing place. So our second congregational song, I'm throwing all kinds of new stuff at you today. This is one we haven't sung before as a congregational, but we have heard it because I've sung it a few times. Don't be like, oh, it's very simple to learn. It's basically the same thing over and over again, with just one slight change during the bridge. So I will sing the first line, basically. And then y'all can just join me on the second one because it's the exact same thing. The only thing that really changes is words. It's a very meditative, sort of chanty kind of song. And once you hear it, you'll go, oh yeah, I remember this one. And I think we'll enjoy singing it.
Our numbers are kind of small today. I think everybody's enjoying the spring, it looks like. But we got the good ones here. So, good morning. I'm Reverend Don, and it's a pleasure to welcome each of you here at Unity Spiritual Center today. Together we affirm and celebrate our unity, our oneness with each other, our oneness with all that is, and our oneness in God. Your presence is essential. For each of us is a unique aspect of the energy that expresses as Unity Spiritual Center today, right here and right now, and we know that no one is here by accident or coincidence. Unity is a New Thought denomination, yet New Thought is nothing new to the world. It is in reality a synthesis of the greatest concepts from the minds and spirits of humankind across the ages. The laws of Moses, the love of Christ, the ethics of Buddha, the morals of Confucius, the 5 pillars of Islam, and the deep spiritual realization of the Hindus all find an exalted place in the philosophy that is unity. In unity, we believe that all people are created with sacred worth, regardless of culture, ethnicity, sexual orientation, or creed. And we know that neither God nor unity leaves anyone out. So as we start our service today, as always, I'd like to begin with prayer. Infinite presence, dear loving Spirit, we open our minds, we open our hearts to allow the presence of God to flow within each of us. We open ourselves knowing that the love of God is not only around us, but within us and part of us. As we open ourselves to God's presence, we feel that love, that joy and peace, understanding of who we are. We are is God. To see the world from our hearts, from that understanding that is God. We live in a remarkable world. And it's up to us to make the choice to see that through the light and the energy that is God. What a remarkable place this is. Especially this time of year, we look out and we see the plants all turning green, new life beginning, the trees budding out. We see and feel that beauty. And we see God's presence reflected everywhere we look. And for this we say, thank you. Thank you. When the disciples asked, how should they pray? Jesus gave them the Lord's Prayer, which we'll say now as translated from the Aramaic, the language that Jesus spoke. If you join me, it's on the screen. Infinite presence, which is everywhere. Your name is sacred. Your kingdom is come. Your will is throughout the earth, even as it is throughout the universe. You give us our needful bread from day to day, and you forgive our offenses, even as we forgive our offenders. And you let us not enter into materialism, but you separate us from error. Because yours are the kingdom, the power, and the song, and the praise, from all ages, throughout all ages, sealed in faith, trust, and truth. Amen. Each of us is the light and love of God, spiritual beings having a human experience. You are God's beloved, and we embrace you today. This is the time in our service when we have an opportunity to bless the children. Today we have the new children. If they'd like to come up here, it's okay. Or if they don't want to, that's all right. We can bless you right where you are. That's fine. So let's rub our hands together, get some nice warm energy going, and hold them up and say, children, we love you, we bless you, and we appreciate you just the way you are.
About, walk in faith, or speaking of a leap of faith. And there is a Sue Riley song that I have been sitting on, I'm not kidding you, maybe 5 or 6 years, that I don't know, it just never seemed the time to debut it. And then as soon as I saw that, I thought, oh, yes. Turns out this song's super duper complicated, so much like last week, I have to have some words. And I didn't trip on the monitor, but caught myself. Okay, so it was one of those things where I practiced, and my brain was like a little baby who didn't want that last bite of food. You're not getting in there. And so I'm just gonna read the words. Anyway, whenever you're ready. When the explorer sailed over the ocean, He didn't know what he would find, with uncertainty looming before him, and the life he knew falling behind, moving forward through uncharted waters, with only his heart as his guide. One thing he knew for certain was he needed a leap of faith. I need a leap of faith, a leap of faith, a leap of faith. I need a leap of faith. Well, you know that I have been wandering. Yes, sometimes my vision has dimmed, yet that always gets me to wondering if I'm doing the best that I can. But I know when I start to falter, you'll give me the strength to go on. Though I might waver, I'm certain I'm needing this leap of faith. I need a leap of faith. Follow and trust. When my ways are not enough, I need a leap of faith, 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 a leap of faith. Like a voyager, I'm always exploring, but the new world isn't easy to find, and it's hard to let go of the comfort in the things I would be leaving behind. But one day I know I'll be ready to cast off these lines and set sail. The first step I need to consider is a big one. It's a leap of faith. I need a leap of faith, a leap of faith, a leap of faith. I need a leap of faith. I need a leap of faith, leap of faith, a leap of faith. I need a leap of faith.
Thank you, Lucinda. Beautiful voice and song as always. I think most of us, me one, are like the woman who wanted to increase her faith, her beliefs. So she spent the night praying, building her faith up, getting better, using that faith to move a mountain with the faith of a mustard seed, like we've read in the Bible. Well, she got up in the morning and ran into the kitchen and looked out the window, saw the mountain setting just where it was the evening before, and said, well, there it is, just as I expected. Building faith, building truth, is building our positive energy up to what we believe. But at the same time, we have the negative beliefs that are embedded in our subconscious. From even the time we were born and before that, we were programmed on the beliefs of those around us and how they affect us. So our job, just like the hard drive in a computer, is to change that programming, to believe that faith, to build it up, to bring down that negative thought and build up our positive faith. We need to do that and work on that every day, building faith. Because as Jesus taught us, there is nothing we can't do if we have the faith, the belief. And that's what our talk's about today, is making the leap, as you said in the song. And today we're talking about bridges are an important development of humankind. Bridges cross over the formerly unpassable ways. You know how I hate doing this, but I'll put on my glasses. I have never worn glasses up until I've got dry eye and it's starting to affect my vision. Anyway, bridges also take a person from where they feel trapped over to a new belief system. I pray that this morning you have access to walk across that bridge created in your belief to an area of total acceptance of God's perfect health for you. You may be walking from a place inside of you towards healing. You may have believed that you were stuck in sickness and could not be healed. But faith will take you from where you are to where you want to be. Many are stuck in such a place that they don't know where to turn, and they take God's hand and spiritually walk across the bridge to a new awareness. Often when they get to the middle part of the bridge, they might stop, pause for a moment and say, God, I really didn't know I had the power to get this far up this small hill, this bridge, but I'm here, and I'm trusting, and I'm walking with my faith power. You're going to heal me. I'm going to keep on walking because I know that's my part to do, and I don't know how you're going to bring it across, but I'm crossing this bridge knowing that the presence of God can accomplish anything. Sometimes when we're walking across faith, you're walking with great pain in your physical body temple. You have this pain and you're thinking about one thing, being healed. There have been moments when you've said to yourself, well, I'll probably never be healed. I hurt, and I'm probably always going to hurt. But in this moment, thank God. Thank God your faith is there and is returned. Thank God you have come to that point where you say, dear God, I know you are real. It's true, I'm hurting right now, but I know that you're going to come through me and heal me. There could be many ways this could come about. Spiritually, physically, we live in both worlds. Say if I left the talk today and I walk in there and I trip on the stairs, I break my leg. I hold that positive faith, that positive energy that God's going to heal me. But maybe I haven't got that scale quite where it needs to be yet. And I live in the physical, the mental. So I know by being positive, holding the energy, God can heal me. But I know also in this physical world, there could be people out there to help bring this apart. So I go to the doctor, somebody who knows how to handle the situation. And even though I'm holding that positive thought spiritually, I know by holding faith, they'll be guided to make the right move, to set the leg, to get things mending the way it's supposed to be. So what I'm saying is I'm not limiting God or my healing to what I think it should be. I have faith that I can be healed, but I don't limit how that can happen. just hold the intention of what I desire and allow things to come about. Jerome K. Jerome writes this: one day I had a finger that ached at the joint. I decided I had arthritis. So I went to the library and got a medical book and started reading about arthritis. He said by the time I got through 2 pages, I had arthritis in both hands. Felt it was spreading. I kept looking in the book and I found the next article was talking about leukemia, and I'd never realized that I had leukemia before. But I should have stopped there, but I read, and then I read about ulcers, and I said, now I know why my stomach's been bothering me quite a bit. He said, the more I read, the worse I got. He said it got to the point I had everything except milkmaid's knee. Didn't know why I didn't have that one too, but I called the doctor and made an appointment because he'd healed me hundreds of times before. So I went to the doctor with my book. I told him, I says, I don't know what's going on, but I don't think I'm going to live till morning. He looked at me and he says, well, he wrote out a prescription. Says, well, here's the prescription. So I took the prescription, I went down to the pharmacist, and I gave it to the pharmacist. He got it and he unfolded it and he read the prescription. He says, I'm sorry, but we don't have this here. What do you mean you don't have this here? You're the biggest pharmacy in town. You've got everything. You've got to have what I need. And he says, well, thank you. We are the biggest, the best, but I don't have this. So he gave it back to me. I unfolded it and I read my prescription. It said, every day, walk 8 miles. As you are walking, tell your body how glorious it is. Every day, talk to the different parts of your body. Praise your joints. Praise your heart for beating so well through the nights. Praise your lungs. And every day, new vitality will come to you. I've done this every day since I received that prescription. And I feel better now in my 50s than I felt in my 20s. You can do that too. We can change the thoughts in our minds and tell the listening audience of our cells in our body that today we can become anew. We can become anew. The Creator is not done creating us yet. God's not finished. Faith will take you from where you are to where you want to be. But we must work with God. When we focus on healing, when we talk about healing, you know who's listening? Our minds and bodies. I want you to imagine for a moment I am the mind and you're my body. This is great illustration because you are like the cells in my body. Right now, when I talk to you, the cells are listening. And they're feeling that I'm thinking. And they're responding. You as an individual cell are willing to go either way. But right now, it's up to me to put the energy, to put the faith, to put the belief out there of where I want that energy to be directed. I'm going to go God's way. I'm going to walk across the bridge of faith to health, and I'm going to allow healing to happen within me. God's right now God, wanting and willing to help. We walk across that spiritual bridge to health together, and we believe. That's what I want you to do this day. I want you to believe again that you can be healed. I want you to believe that you can feel young again. And I want you to believe that you have the dynamic within you, just as you did in the best day of your life. You can. The power of God is the real life that's within you. It's not the age of your body. It's not the thoughts you held about yourself in mind. The real grace of God is when you have that power come through you, and you know that God is with you, and that healing source is within you. As I prepared for this talk, I saw a story I liked. So I went online, Googled it, to make sure it was authentic, and I found it was. It's an article in People magazine that talked about Dennis Boyd. He was a 270-pound football player. He had a collision with another player. Actually, it was one of his teammates, I guess I should say. They were going for the quarterback, both of them coming from each side. And just before they got to the quarterback, he stepped forward. Both of them collided. He said just before he hit, I noticed I ducked my head. We hit. I fell on the field. My buddy got up and said, okay, Dennis, get up, let's go. He said, I can't. He said, I tried to move my neck for a minute, but when he tried, all he could feel were the bones kind of dislodged, making a sound in his neck. He said, I laid there on that football field, not being able to move, just looking up at the clouds as they slowly drifted across the sky. He was intensely aware of what had happened to him. It was the football player's worst nightmare. He laid there paralyzed. Everybody come running out on the field, the medics, the coaches, everybody, and he said his wife came running up. She was crying. He said, Angie, all of my life, football has been the only thing I've been concerned with. It's been my number one priority. But right now, in this moment, with my whole life slipping in front of me, all I'm really thinking about is holding you. Holding you, Angie, and our son, Ashton. He laid there with tears streaming down his face. She grabbed his hand, but he couldn't respond because he laid there lifeless. He was crying and he said, I want to hold you so badly. His wife said, don't worry, honey. We'll hold you instead. They hugged on that field. She got as close as she possibly could. Tried to give him a kiss, but the face mask on his helmet kept her from getting through. They brought over a yellow bodyboard, worked him onto it, got him all strapped down, and put him in the ambulance for a 40-minute trip to Lenox Hospital, where the doctors were waiting. He said it was like being in a movie that you see. He said they wheeled me in the hospital and we go zipping down the hall. He said I could see the lights flashing by. The doctors, the nurses, everybody running around, trying to get things together. He said, I'm just laying there. I couldn't move. I'm paralyzed. He said I was there in that hospital for hours as they examined me and performed CAT scans on my neck, on my head. And he realized in that moment, that mid-afternoon, he said it was almost as if God had given him the message after he had prayed with Angie that he was going to have to talk to his body in a new way. That he was going to have to think in a new positive direction if he was ever going to be able to move again. Said that night he heard the truth that he had broken the C5 vertebrae in his neck, and they were going to have to put on a very special device called a halo vest. The doctors came in, gave him a shot of xylocaine in each of the spots, 2 on his forehead and 2 towards the back. Started putting this on his neck, and he said they were screwing these metal pins into his skull to hold this in place, to keep him motionless. He said, as I laid there, fully aware of what was going on, I could hear the sound. He said, I thought it would be kind of a crunching sound, but he said it was a squealing sound as they attached this device. He said, I will remember that always. It was very vivid. because he talked about how he was so aware that he could still hear that sound now. This is graphic. But he said I was not able to move at all. All I could do was lay there. 2 metal bars blocked his field of vision, so he could only see straight up at the ceiling. And these are his words. Now time was coming on Christmas. Each day it seemed as if God was blessing me with another gift. Do you see the attitude here? My legs were starting to gather strength. I'd been able to move the big toe on my right foot. I could sit upright in a wheelchair for 45 minutes without feeling dizzy. Though fear, doubt, and depression were constantly beating at my door, I had more reason to hope than to despair. Despite the limitations of my fingers, I began to feel a tingling deep within them. And listen to what he says next. This is the key. I would lie in bed at night, stare at my finger or my thumb, and I'd talk to it. I would tell it, "Hey there, forefinger or thumb, you can move. You have the power of God in you. You have a power that is beyond myself. God can rebuild my body just like God did it originally in the 9 months before I was born. God can cause you to move again with the perfection that I always had." Then 2 nights before Christmas, I was awakened by a tingling feeling in both of my hands. On Christmas Eve, my finger moved. It was just barely a wiggle, but it moved. My therapist came in, jumped with joy, and ran to get the doctor. In January, Dennis Boyd was able to take that first step. He was right then 3 months ahead of schedule. The doctors couldn't believe it. They couldn't understand how this was possible. There's a power greater than the human. That power is working through us as the powerful, the dynamic, the incredible essence of God. Nothing bad inside of your body temple can stand up to this perfection. This perfection regenerates and creates anew. Norman Cousins says, never deny a diagnosis, but do deny the negative verdict of that diagnosis. Melvin Morris, MD, in his book Closer to the Light, said several excellent research studies showed the effects of emotion upon disease. For example, if an anesthesiologist whispers into the ear of a patient during surgery, "You will get well soon," on average, that person will be released from the hospital 2 days earlier than a control group that never had those loving, supporting words spoken to them. Faith will take you from where you are to where you want to be. You've all been referred to specialists. Today I'm going to refer you to the master physician. You're going to read God's prescription to yourself. Listen to this, my wonderful body. I am a child of God, and therefore I am built in the perfection of the image and likeness of God. You are going to be made anew. Not just as good, but better than before. And so it is. I can tell you, we get up here and talk a lot. This is something I believe within my heart. We are limitless. There is nothing that can hold us back except ourselves. So every day when you get up in the morning, take a few minutes, at least a few moments, to look at the day ahead. Say, thank you, God, for this opportunity, for this new day. I'm going to allow your presence to flow within me. I'm going to see this day with my heart, not my mind, my truth. I am an expression of God, an expression of love. And the only thing that can limit me is myself. And every day, I'm getting better. I'm accepting that truth more and more with each breath I take. And that is true. So let's take those thoughts now into a time of meditation. Right where you are, just sit back, find a comfortable position, and allow your eyes to close. Take a deep breath, and as you exhale, relax. Take another deep breath, and as you exhale, allow your cares and worries to simply float away and just be one with God. Take another deep breath and be at peace with your world. You are peace. You are wellness. You are the essence of health and well-being. This is your natural state of being. We know right there at the core of your being, God is the truth of what you are. And so, in some magnificent way, you are the principle of life, the essence of love and peace. Let us take a few moments in silence and be aware that love, that life, and that peace is within you. Let us feel the truth of that. As we prepare to come back to this moment, this time, just breathe deeply and know the truth that you are one with God. And this is your natural state. So when you're ready, just open your eyes. Look around and smile. Thank you.
Thank you. This is the time in our service when we have an opportunity to give back to the work of Spirit through our offerings and tithes. We give in love and gratitude for our own prosperity in its many forms, which comes to us through God, our instant, constant, and abundant source. And if today is your first visit, we would like to honor and acknowledge that you are a blessing to us and that your presence here today is your gift to this ministry. You are not expected to participate in the offertory. Will the ushers please come forward? I invite you to hold your offerings in your hand as we say our offertory blessing together. Divine love, through me, blesses and multiplies all of the good I am and have, all the good I give and receive, and I am grateful.
Ushers, please come forward. And please join me as we bless this offering.
My gift goes forth on the wings of love, and it lands where it can heal and bless. It returns to me, multiplied a thousandfold, as the universe says yes, yes, as the universe says yes.
Shall we circle up? Okay. Okay, our prosperity affirmation. We affirm the continued growth and prosperity of Unity Spiritual Center of Waco and are grateful. And our prayer for protection. The light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. The presence of God watches over us. The presence of God. Wherever I am, God is, and all is well. You weren't going to leave him out.
Are you sure? Right here. Wow.
Mark, if you can't stay, we usually have lots of good food down here. Good chance to get to know people. And if you can, come back and join us.
I know some of them. Sandy, Mary Ann, Steve, Sharon and Jim. I don't know who else is on the
Yeah, Sharon and Jim have been working in productions and they're exhausted. And they probably down and talked to her last night. Hey, come here just a minute. What do we have to do to let there be sound in that room?
You say, Dawn, we need you so bad.
Yeah.
Don, we need you so bad. I
I've
think
gotta
it's
set
one of
this up.
these.
Huh?
Oh, you
I'll
don't have
set it
it?
up.
You'll set it up?
Well,
Okay.
I can only give Barbara or her that headset.
Gotcha.
Or in there, I've got to look at it and I'll have
Oh,
to
I see.
set
Okay,
things
so
up
we've got to
different.
limit